Okay. Alright, day 6 of the 30-day video challenge. I thought I would tell one of my favorite stories that really is the story that got me moving towards creating, writing books, making videos, developing the whole project that we're working on now and a lot of what I'm doing. And it has to do with some kittens, and I call it the what would you do story, because we were staying on this island in India, and in the Andaman Islands, and it was a little bit rough because it was very traditional. We were still adjusting to the culture. We didn't completely understand, and one of the things was that there were a lot of beach dogs and a lot of animal abuse. So this dog kind of adopted me, and I got permission from the owners of the place we were staying to keep feeding the dog. I didn't let him in our tent or anything that we were in. We had these big like tents with a little outer patio and stuff. So everything was cool, and then the lady like was kind of like changing prices on people. So we were all trying to talk to her, and she was kind of sick of all of us because it was low season, and there's like 10 of us travelers hanging out, just all wanting a good deal because it was low season. So needless to say, she wasn't very happy with us, and I might have been a ringleader in that. Might have had something to do with it, might not have. So anyhow, at one point we're driving down a road on the island to go see an owner of another resort who had solved some of our other problems on this island. The internet was off, and so nobody had any internet, and we kind of needed internet to do some of our stuff. So anyways, we're driving down this road, and it's about 20 kilometers between where we're staying and down in the village where he lives. And about halfway there, there's these 5 tiny little kittens huddled in the middle of the road, just standing there. And so we're like, shoot, I can't take kittens to this guy's house, but we'll check out the kittens later. So we go, and during eating dinner at his house, I mention the kittens, and he's like, oh, the 7 kittens. And I'm like, oh no, 2 kittens have already died. And I'm like, what happens? And he's like, people don't want to take care of them, and so they just go abandon them in the middle of the road so they can't come back. And I'm like, wow, that sucks. Like, how long do you have to take care of a kitten for it to become a cat and stay alive? So we're driving back, and it's dark, and it's raining, and it's a little cold, honestly. Islands do get cold, believe it or not. And so we're driving along, and there they are again at the exact same spot in the middle of the road. And it's like these cats, like to one side there's wild beach, and to the other side it's, you know, kilometers deep of forest. There's snakes, all kind of biodiversity. Those kittens are in no way gonna live. So at that point, you have to ask, what would you do? I'm thinking, oh my gosh, the resort lady already isn't liking me right now. I already have a pet dog, and now I'm gonna bring back 5 cats. They are certainly gonna kick me out. And I was really afraid. I didn't know what was gonna happen. But I brought the kittens. So then, long story short, we tried to get rid of the kittens. We realized that some neighboring Burmese people wanted the cats because in India, people don't really revere animals in the caste system and in the traditional beliefs. Animals, you know, are kind of like evil spirits. They have bad karma. They did bad things in their past life. That's why you're a dog or a cat. They don't like them that much. But the Burmese, they're Buddhists. They love everything, so they take the cats from me. So now the dogs become a problem because of cats. So then I'm like, shoot, I gotta get rid of this dog. And a guy at the resort recommends another man at the end of the island. So we bring him the dog, and the guy's like, where have you been in India so far? And we're like, here, and we're leaving. And he's like, you're leaving? And I'm like, I just can't deal with it. And he told me that I needed to go to the north because I couldn't leave until I went to the north. I needed to see it. It was different. It was beautiful. It was like nothing else in the world. And I'm like, fine. So it took us going to Delhi, which I also didn't want to do. Well, we ended up loving Delhi. Get the very camera that I'm being filmed with right now for a smoking deal, but that's not the point of this story. So then we decide to go to Leh Ladakh because that's where the weather was best in July. So we fly up to Leh Ladakh and the Himalayas. We're talking almost 15,000 feet here. And lo and behold, we find out the day that we got there that the Dalai Lama had just got there. We also realized that Leh isn't really India. It is India, but it is Tibet in refuge. This is where Tibet lives because if you know anything about China, Tibet, Free Tibet, Tibet is no longer Tibet. Tibet is now a part of China, and so in this part of India, 40,000 plus Tibetan people live there, and so it's really like being in Tibet. So we got to go and see the Dalai Lama speak first to a school, the SOS school, to a small group of people, cultural performances, local dances, and then we got to hear him speak to over 40,000 Tibetan people, thousands of monks, chanting, traditional practices. It was absolutely life-changing. And then from there we went down to Sri Lanka, and by chance ended up in the north where there had just recently been a genocide. So, you know, this contrast and these experiences that were unplanned were like, man, we're seeing some amazing things out here in the world. We've got to do something. There's got to be something to it, something we can contribute. So that's why I'm here now doing this. Hopefully you enjoyed my little story. That's what I got for you for day 6. See you tomorrow for day 7.